Welcome back to We're the Harrises. We got Super Bowl champion Chris Harris Jr. We got current Browns player Shelby Harris and myself, Ryan Harris, champion alongside Chris Harris Jr. of that Super Bowl 50 team. And boys, let's get this started. I mean, Shelby Harris, Monday Night Football, the Broncos hosting the Browns. You got to see him up close. What did you think of Bo Nix? What do we not know about Bo Nix that you know from playing them?
I mean, I would say other than that big throw, Bo Nix isn't the most efficient quarterback out there. I think that he needs, to make the little throws, and it's a lot of flair. Obviously that big throw is going to get a lot of airtime. We're going to talk. It was obviously a big throw, but also that's a throw that should have been an interception at the end of the day. So, we can, oh my God, great arm, all that, but I think, he's still a rookie. Obviously the ceiling is there. He can be a very good quarterback, but he did just enough, and he lived off that defense. And that defense really went and made plays for them to win the game. But obviously he did exactly what he needed to do. But it wasn't the most efficient game, and 2 interceptions, and it's just it's a tough game. Obviously, it's a tough game to digest for me. Just going back to Denver and losing that type of way. But I just think that maybe when I played Jaden Daniels, I played Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels, chopped our defense up. He really messed our defense up. I think Bo Nix he still has a ways to go. He has the talent to be a great quarterback in this league, but in order for the Broncos to be successful in the playoffs, he's going to have to be better.
Well, what did he sound like? I mean, you've heard great quarterbacks before. What was his demeanor on the line of scrimmage? Is he calling things out? Is he confident in what he's seeing?
It wasn't much calling out. It wasn't like he knew exactly what was like. He's like, oh, cover 2. It wasn't anything like that, but I don't think that's what's asked of him. And I'm not saying he can't do it, because he's played a lot of ball in his career, but I definitely believe that after this game, I'm higher on the Jaden Daniels than I am on the Bo Nix train. But I definitely believe that Bo Nix has all the tools to be a great quarterback in this league. But after watching the way that Jaden Daniels did us, and then watching the way that Bo Nix did us, and because you got to think, for most of the game, he was under 50% completion percentage. And, Jaden Daniels was damn near 80% the whole time we played him. So I just think, once again, I think Bo Nix is going to be a very capable, very good quarterback in this league. It's just that right now, if we're judging right now based off of who they are, I think Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year.
That's just going off of you playing against them, and really, Shelby's out there on the field going against these guys, so he's giving us a real live, judgment, real grade. And from just watching the game, man, it was one of the best Monday Night Football games I watched in a long time. Usually I'm dozing off, or I'm just like, man, this game is boring. Let's see what's on the NBA or something, But last night was locked in, man. It was a great game. Y'all was definitely entertaining, and both quarterbacks, I think made a lot of plays. Bo, I think he was like a 65 rating. He had 2 picks. The one Denzel Ward had was one of the best picks I've seen from a corner. Getting a deep ball post pick like that. That was a nice pick. But it was a good game, man. It was exciting to watch y'all play, man. And shout out to both teams, man. Y'all definitely made it entertaining last night.
It was an unbelievable performance, fireworks all over. But man, talk to us more about Jameis Winston, man. I just love his game, man. He's huge too. I forgot I was down on the field before the game. I was calling the first half of KOA. But man, Jameis Winston is a size. He's got some size to him. But the belief he throws that football with is inspiring, man. What was it? What was it like playing with Jameis last night?
Man, Jameis is going to light it up, and that's it. And that's one thing, he believes in his arm, and that's why he truly believes in everything he does, and that's why you love playing with a guy like Jameis because he's going to fill you with that belief. And, even after the game, he's taking that loss directly on him. And, we're all telling him it's a team loss. We win. One person's never the cause of a loss. No one person's never the cause of a win. And, we all just got, that just speaks to who he is, as a player. But, I'll go to war with Jameis any day. That's who you want, as your quarterback. But once again, we got killed by the turnover bug. But, I believe in Jameis, and I believe he has the tools to fix it. But that's why you do see him have the potential to have a 40 touchdown season. You know what I mean? Like that right there. But also, shout out Jerry Jeudy, though. Jerry went back there. Every time he touched the ball, you had the boo birds. Everybody had something to say about Jerry. And then he just showed the Broncos, he's like, yeah, you didn't use me right. This is what happens when you use me the correct way. And, Jerry and Jameis have a special connection. And, we'll see how much that flourishes the rest of the year.
Yeah, Jameis's picks were tough, too. His first one with Benito covered like 3 people on that pick.
Yeah.
Right. So I know Jameis is looking for that check now. The spacing in the routes, they're all kind of right by each other. So can I blame Jameis for going to his check down with 3 guys in the same area? I would put that kind of on the coaches on that part. The pick with Jaquan McMillan, he threw when you throw out routes in 2-man versus 2-man, you got to throw it farther outside, right? If you throw it behind them like that, I'm picking that all day. Those are pick sixes all day. Right, so that's something that Jameis can clean up. And the last pick, he was just trying to make a play. So, he definitely had chances to win this game for y'all. Defensively, I feel like y'all just gave up too many big plays. Right, that 93-yard, especially when you're backed up, you never want to give up big shots. Right, that 93-yard shot, that was huge. That's something that you never want to have that on your resume. So I think just eliminate the big plays. Judy's went out there and balled out. I'm like, is anybody going to cover Judy today? Like, can we put Surtain on this man? It's like, coach didn't care. It was just, keep Wallace on him all game, and Judy had a career night, man. Shout out to him. Going back home, it's always hard going back to the team that you left, and you want to win. But, Judy went out there and played a hell of a game, man. I think he might have broke some records. I don't know if anybody's ever came in the Mile High and put 200 up on us. That might be the first time.
Unbelievable performance, and unbelievable game for both teams. And I'll tell you what, Shelby, you guys might be 3-9, but you got the heart of a 10-4 team right now. I mean,
man, you can't quit.
Really amazing.
You can't quit. This is NFL. Every week your job is on the line. I don't think a lot of people realize that. You're getting evaluated every week. And if you go out there just because your record and you lay an egg, that might be the last egg you lay because they're going to get your ass out of there and they're going to bring somebody else in for cheaper. Especially as a vet, you got to go out there and you got to show them why you still should be in the league as for me as a 33-year-old D lineman compared to just going and grabbing somebody, a 21, 22-year-old dude. And that's the thing. We got to fight. You got to have that demeanor. You got to go out there and just show them you a dog. Nothing's going to shake you. Nothing's going to rattle you. And, it's just, I always try to tell them, this is what we have to do. This is our job. There is no other option. We go out there and fight. But I don't think, y'all get it. Y'all understand it. Y'all are athletes, but I think to the normal person, it's like, oh, what do you have to play for? We have everything to play for. The football is a pride game. It's me versus you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you think I'm going as a D lineman? You think I'm going to let this other man push me over? Do you think I'm going to let someone go catch a fade ball on? Like Chris, you think you just going to let someone go catch a fade ball over you? Ryan, you think you just going to let somebody bull rush you into the ground? No, this is pride.
Let is not my vocabulary. Yeah.
No, this is pride. This is what we do. I'm fighting every play until the end. I always have a belief that we can find a way to win until the last play, until that clock hits 0. Truly is always a belief that we can find a way to pull it out.
Speaking of teams that are struggling right now, the San Francisco 49ers, Christian McCaffrey went down. They got drubbed against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, is it time for a change in San Francisco? They are not looking good at all.
Man, it might
Yeah, I
be.
think they are going to change because CMC. When you have those Achilles injuries and the injuries that he's dealing with, it kind of if you don't get the proper rest, man, it can lead to other injuries, and that's what we've seen. Kind of happen with CMC, and Trent Williams. RP his son. I think he lost a little baby. So he's going through things, and that team usually doesn't play good unless Trent is out there, right? Or Christian McCaffrey. So right now, I think they might as well just fold it in for the year. I don't see them making a big push, especially in the NFC. I think pretty much Philly pretty much got that sold up over there on the NFC side. And so I think they're pretty much done. The 49ers season's over with. No running back. Trent is going through some things. Brock Purdy, I don't think he's playing at an elite level like he did the first couple years. So they might as well get ready for the offseason, man.
But is it Brock Purdy's not playing at an elite level, or he just doesn't have the weapons that he's had? Is this always the Brock Purdy that we've known? Because we've always talked about it, like it's coming to Brock Purdy's contract extension and all the talks. How do you judge paying your 10th best player? Usually as a quarterback, it's supposed to be one. Like if you have a guy like that, you want to pay $40 million to. That's your top guy. But I think, especially this year, it's shown that it's a product of your environment. When your offensive tackle, your running back, your wide receiver, all these guys go out, and you stand no chance. Now you look at the Packer game. It was tough to watch that offense. And then you can talk about the snow all you want to. The Bills had no problem in it. And I think this is where, these tough conversations come into play when you're talking about contract negotiations and stuff is, well, are you just a game manager, or are you going to go out there and win it for us? And you don't know. What if the 49ers choose to go after Sam Darnold? They saw what Sam Darnold could do. And it's like, well, we got a guy that can throw it 70 yards, that can actually open up the deep shots. But it's that 49er team, it's in a tough situation right now because the whole point of the team was you had Brock Purdy on this rookie deal, and you can go and you can pay all these other people all the money to surround him with superior talent. Well, that time's about to be over. It's like you either got to pay Brock Purdy, and then if you pay him, you have to start cutting other people. And so what is this team going to look like in the future? I think the next 5 weeks are important for a lot of people on that 49er team to figure out if they're part of the future or if they're going to be on a new team the next year.
I just think too, you wonder if Kyle Shanahan's voice got stale. There's no question he's a good coach. If they end up going a different direction, he'll be at the top of every list. But I love what you're saying, Shelby, with Brock Purdy. It's like, well, how much do you pay him? And if you're Brock Purdy, you're saying, look, pay me. Look at my playoff record. I got a better playoff record than Kirk Cousins, than Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? So that's a difficult conversation. But at the end of the day, you also got to think about this. I mean, they don't have a great record. If they get a high pick, I mean, do you get Shador and Dion? I don't know. That'd be an interesting combination out there. So there's a lot of options if you're the 49ers, but they are just not playing well. Tough to see Christian McCaffrey go out like that in terms of just going down in the play. Just brutal. But my favorite win from the weekend, let's flip it, boys. The favorite win of the weekend for you guys, because for me, it was the Vikings fighting through to get that victory this weekend. What an incredible team that showed resolve. I thought that was an impressive win. The Steelers are up there, too. That was an impressive win by the Steelers. What'd you guys like this weekend in the other games?
My biggest win was probably the Philly game, right? I didn't expect Philly to go in to Baltimore and really manhandle them like that. Philly's D-line was everywhere. Being able to stop those guys on the run. I think Henry still had 100, but they were physical. They were hitting and swarming as a defense. So I like what I seen from Philly. They definitely look like one of the top 2-3 teams in the league so far heading to the playoffs. And, Saquon Barkley's definitely got to be the top candidate for MVP.
I would have to say the Seahawks beating the Jets. and just being down most of that game. You see Big Cat Leonard Williams with that long
Yeah.
interception return, and he's been balling the last couple of weeks. But the NFC West is wide open right now with the Cardinals losing to the Vikings, and then so you got the Cardinals, you got the Seahawks, you got the Rams, and then the 49ers are still not out of it just because of the mediocrity of the records of the NFC West. But man, I just think the Seahawks, after they went to a kind of a lull in the middle of the year, but they're kind of finding their groove again the last couple of weeks. But that Seahawks win against the Jets, I think it's just battling adversity and somehow still finding a way to win. So I think they're right back in the thick of things and trying to make a postseason run.
Yeah.
And then lastly, boys, let's get this out the way. In college football, we've got bowl games, we've got college playoffs, and we already got coaches saying my players should play, they should finish their commitment. What do y'all think about? Let's just set the record straight. How should coaches approach their players who have multi-million-dollar paydays hours away from a game that they want them to play for their college that did not pay them?
Man, when you think of it like this, coaches that go to get new jobs, they'll leave their team on bowl prep and be like, hey, it was nice working with you. I'll see you later. These players have their ideas and they're what they're trying to achieve is bigger than just this bowl game. I hate to say it, it's a business now. We've made NCAA football a business. And so if I'm about to be a top 5, even first 2-round pick, what is this bowl game going to do? If we're not playing for the national championship, what are we, or in the playoff, what are we doing? Like, I get it. Like the old days of people saying, oh, finish out with your team. All that stuff is dead. Because, coach, like, you just can't single it out to the players. Coaches leave the team all the time. And I hate how we just try to like hold the players to some different standard of they need to stick to the team. Well, what about the coaches? I'll tell you this, if Brett Bielema got the job at Notre Dame or got a job at Clemson or something like that, he's not coaching that bowl game. Because when Brett Bielema or anyone left Wisconsin, he didn't coach the bowl game. They had Barry Alvarez came back and coached the bowl game. And that's just what happens. And so we need to stop trying to hold these players to a different standard that we don't hold these coaches to. If there's a better opportunity out there, if we know that you're rated higher, we're going to have a Jalen Smith, a Jake Butt situation where Jake Butt, he's doing fine now, but his career was never what it was supposed to be coming out of college because he got hurt. And you got to look out for yourself in these days because it's been shown that necessarily these college coaches aren't going to look out for you.
And it's a new thing. I think guys missing out on bowl games, right? What happened to the past 10, 20 years before this, before guys start dropping out, when guys were playing in the bowl games, right? And they making it to the league and everything was smooth selling, right? So I think this issue just popped up like the last 5 to 10 years, right? And we've seen guys, I've seen it work in some ways, like a Caleb Williams. Like, I understand you not playing. You're the number 1 overall pick. There's really you're in a pointless bowl, right? It just depends on what bowl game you're in. If you're in the college football playoffs, I expect you to be out there, right? But if I'm in a cupcake bowl over here, it doesn't matter at all, right? I can go start training and start getting my body ready for the league. So it just depends on what situation and what team I'm on to make that decision. But I'm with Shelby though. These coaches, they'll upright leave immediately, right? And their money's guaranteed. If they get fired or they leave, they're gonna get some guaranteed money. So you as a player, you got to look out for yourself.
I'm with you guys 100%. I think the thing for fans to do is to celebrate the player that chooses not to play because that's the best decision for them and their family. Look, they were loyal to you for years coming to that university. And to the point that Shelby and Chris made, coaches, not only do they leave, they take coaches with them sometimes. I mean, I called Notre Dame's bowl game last year, and they were playing, I believe it was Oregon State. Not only did their coach leave, they had like 20 starters that didn't play, and they had 5 other coaches that left too. So you want a player to come in and risk all that? Like if you're Travis Hunter right now, CU is not playing in the college football playoffs. there's no
Yeah.
benefit for him to play in XYZ bowl game other than that bowl game. If he plays in a bowl game, he's benefiting that bowl. He's benefiting whatever network who's not paying him is making on that bowl game. Why does he have to go do that? Nobody would risk their children's livelihood for some other corporation when you're literally hours away from the biggest payday in many cases, family history.
Well, Ryan, you got to think of it like this. Everyone used to play in bowl games because you used to get the gifts. Well, they don't need these gifts anymore. They're getting paid.
$350 was our limit. Yeah,
We used to be happy. Oh man, we're getting a PS5 or a TV or a gift. You know, like nah.
These gifts. That's how they used to lure you to these games. It's like, oh, we're gonna give you all this swag. We're gonna give you all these gifts, and that was the best part of the bowl game was getting all this stuff. But now, man, I'm getting paid $400,000. What I need this 32-inch TV for? You know what I mean? Like, what I need this PS5 for? I'll probably have a sponsor that's giving it to me. And it's just the reality of what it is now. And so, especially you got to think, if you're playing in the Sun Bowl, if you play in the Little Caesars Bowl, I'm a second round pick. I'm about to go train and get ready to try to become a first round pick.
There's no reason for Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders to be playing in the bowl game. I know I love Prime. I love what they got going, but y'all are going to a cupcake bowl. Those guys need to be getting ready for the league and, staying healthy. So I definitely would understand if they missed out for sure.
But also,
remember too, if you're
go ahead, Ryan.
Well, if you're think of it too. If you're a sophomore defender and you get to hit Shedeur Sanders, are you taking it easy on him because he's going to the league, or are you punish him because he's going to the league before you? Right? I think that's what people miss too, is you don't put somebody out there where someone is going to want to make a career-making hit on your star player. That just don't create that situation.
Correct.
100%. You got to think people got something to prove. Especially you're playing against a team like Colorado, which also shout out to them, because before the season, who would have, what Prime has done for Colorado to even get them bowl eligible. And we talking about they were fighting to play in the Big 12 championship compared to where they were 2 years ago of winning one game. And Prime comes in 2 years and completely changes that culture. All credit to him, because nobody would expect, obviously Prime has all the haters in the world because of the way he does things, but he really went up there and completely changed Colorado football. And, you have to give him a shout out for that, because that's probably, I think, one of the bigger stories. The fact that they weren't just bowl eligible, they were fighting for the Big 12 championship. And last year, they weren't even close to bowl eligible. I think that's the bigger story, is that Colorado is, a completely different team.
Right. And you got to commend them for having everybody kind of under his thumb, right? He said, everybody's playing, nobody complained, everybody's playing. Right. So he's got everybody going in one motion. So you got to commend him for the job that he's doing over there for sure.
Well, we are the Harrises. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to join us next week for the best sports talk. And we appreciate it. Make sure to follow us on social media and share and like any post that you see. And we'll see you next week.